This video is for everybody who's interested in learning how they can incorporate healthy habits, whether small or large, into their lifestyle, because many times we just don't know where to begin. Welcome back to the Power of Healthy Habits, where small changes can lead to huge positive transformations in your lifestyle. I'm your host, Kareem. Black man, what's up? Hey, this video is for you if you're interested in maintaining better health. Okay, you had your resolutions, so to speak, or you just made that commitment to living a healthier lifestyle, and you're going to have ups and downs. Not sure if you're in the up or in the down. Nevertheless, I'm here to give you some healthy habits that you can begin stacking on your road to wellness. We're still on the road to making sure that we have awareness amongst every man of what your baseline blood pressure is. And that is one of the places to begin if you want to continue to maintain a healthy blood pressure without the use of pharmaceutical medication. Now, for those of you who are not on medication or are not aware of your blood pressure or know that you have an elevated blood pressure, having the information to begin with is the best place to start your journey versus making changes without knowing where you are. So having a blood pressure monitor and understanding what your baseline blood pressure is one of the easiest places to begin. Recommend that people measure their blood pressure twice a day. Once in the morning, after you use the restroom, before you take your medication if you're on medication, and before you begin the day or consume anything. And the second time is in the evening, when you're at a rested state and you have the time to relax, allow your blood pressure to come down for at least a short period of time. I hope you're patient with yourself, because it does take a little time to get a baseline blood pressure. So if, for example, you're at 130/87 consistently, somewhere in that range, at least you have a good idea of what your baseline blood pressure is. One of the easiest places to begin after you've established the baseline is just understanding what impacts that baseline, understanding what you're already consuming and how what you're consuming has an impact on your blood pressure. Once you have an idea of what those things are and how they impact your blood pressure, eliminating those things slowly, maybe not abruptly, but if you know there are things that are completely taking its toll on your blood pressure, I'm just going to say alcohol, for example, reducing or eliminating that food, drink, substance is a good place to begin. Adding or eliminating things that you already have identified as being good or bad for you. So if you set some goals to just make some changes, whether they're in your diet, increased exercise, etc., make sure that you've charted them, actually written out what it is you want to do. Healthy alternatives that would be great to replace those foods with are whole, fresh fruits and vegetables. And today I'm going to talk about a variety of fresh fruit and vegetables that you can replace some of those junk food snacks with, or things that you've just become accustomed to consuming. And I'm not saying eliminate them immediately, but slowly reduce the consumption of things that you know is not good for you, and maybe you have a little bit of an addiction to, maybe some cravings to, so that along this road you don't feel like you're neglecting yourself, even though you're trying to transition into an area where you're doing something that's going to be overall better for your health and longevity. The nutrition that you're going to get from a whole food, fruit and vegetable is almost unmatched to anything that you'll find packaged in a grocery store or at a convenience store, because the food as it grows is how we're meant to consume foods, fruits and vegetables, that is. Eating 3 to 5 servings of whole fruit or vegetables, fresh fruit, by the way, not dried, not blended. That's the way the fruit grows, and that's the way it's meant for us to consume. So we'll start with the banana, which you probably saw in my hand, but the banana is one of the most accessible fruits that is available to us almost in every part of the country. Maybe not everywhere all the time, but having fresh bananas is one of the easiest fruits to obtain year-round. Up next, moving on to a citrus, orange. Oranges are usually relatively familiar. They do have, like most fruits, a season. I love oranges. I've gotten to the point where I squeeze my oranges for fresh juice and try not to depend on juices made from concentrate. Avocado. Avocado is one of my faves. This is a fruit that I have right after my fast. Almost every time I fast, the first thing I consume is avocado. And perhaps you may know, but the most nutritious part of an avocado is the pit. You can take the pit out, which is very hard, cut it, you can allow it to either boil in water and get some nutrition from the pit being boiled up as a tea, or you can actually continue to cut it and blend and consume the pit internally. Next, back to a citrus, grapefruit. Grapefruit is a fruit that I did not like. Specifically, the ruby reds are ones that I love the most, but as a kid, I couldn't stand grapefruit. I'm happy I gave it another try. Having a variety of whole, fresh fruit and vegetables is going to make life a little more exciting as you transition to healthier foods, because you have different flavors and you'll be able to see how your body feels as you consume those things. You will also get different minerals and nutrition from those various fruits and vegetables. Up next is a mango. Mangoes are relatively new in my life because I didn't eat them as a kid, but as a young adult, I became introduced to mangoes. Give them a try. They are sweet. They're one of the sweetest fruits you can find. They are not always in season, and they may be difficult to find, but they're great for you. Another very common fruit, cucumber. Cucumber is over 90% water. You get great fiber from it. I try to keep cucumbers, bananas, tomatoes, pineapples as a staple. I just try to always have them around. And the combination of just cucumber and pineapple is great for your digestive system. Okay, kiwi. I love them when I find them. The kiwi is probably underrated. When you get to the point where you can allow yourself to try new fruits, give kiwi a try. And if you've always eaten kiwi, great. Cantaloupe. Cantaloupe is another great fruit to keep on deck. And I didn't bring a watermelon, but watermelon is the #1 fruit that I've depended on for helping myself maintain my blood pressure and just being satisfied, because it has a flavor that I love. It's sweet. It's not as sweet as I actually thought it was by percentage of sugar, but I just love both watermelon and the cantaloupe. So adding a variety of plant-based foods is one of the best things you can do for your overall health, because you'll get a little bit of nutrition and or minerals from each different food. And some of the honorable mentions, like watermelon, I eat that including the skin, not so much all of the skin, but up to maybe 5%. I definitely get all the way down into the rind because there's so many benefits that we're just throwing away. I don't always break into the avocado pit, but ever so often, I would say 1 out of every 10, I'll take the pit, at least boil it, have it as a tea. I haven't blended it yet, but it's a great source for nutrition. Now, last but not least, there is a bonus that I have not added to my diet as regularly as I have the fruits, but I'm excited about it, and that's hemp seed. Hemp seed. Hemp seed is a great source for plant-based protein, along with chickpeas, along with black beans, and several others. So if you're not at the point where you're ready to give up meat, that's okay. You don't actually have to or need to give up meat, but sometimes having too much red meat can be detrimental to our overall health and does have an impact on our blood pressure. One of the main goals is to deliver information that the viewers can add into their lifestyle, especially those small healthy habits that can stack on other healthy habits that you're already incorporating. So make a list of the fruits you enjoy and love. Be sure to have them on hand all the time, especially as you're transitioning away from those foods that you may be addicted to. And watch this video right here if you're interested in learning more about fasting.